This is Barrett Jackson, one of the most prestigious automobile auctions in the United States. 2011 marks the 40th anniversary of this famous competitive sale of cars. While Barrett Jackson holds their auctions in several other cities, including Costa Mesa, California, Miami, Florida, and Las Vegas, Nevada, we visited the 2011 auction in Scottsdale, Arizona, which was held at Scottsdale's famous Westworld at the 101 freeway near Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. Barrett Jackson began in Scottsdale, Arizona in 1967 when Russ Jackson replied to a car ad. Tom Barrett was selling his 1933 Cadillac V16 town car, and Mr. Jackson was very interested. Even though a deal was never struck for the Cadillac, a lifelong friendship was. In 1971, the two combined their talents to present the company's first collector car auction, featuring classics from each of their individual collections. Unfortunately, Russ Jackson passed away in 1993, and Tom Barrett passed away in 2004. Craig Jackson, who had actively worked daily within the company and on site during auctions, assumed the reins in 1997. As you enter Barrett Jackson, you are dazzled with lights and sounds. This is the Barrett Jackson vendor area. The vendor area starts with a rather large Ford Motors display, which in itself is almost as large as the remaining vendors put together. Other vendors included artists, jewelers, neon, vintage gas pumps, and more. If you've ever been to an automobile auction, you'd know that typically there are many cars to choose from, spanning many years, from the advent of the automobile right up to current-day models. You'll also see some very strange vehicles and one-of-a-kinds. In these respects, Barrett Jackson is no different. There is a difference, however, in the amount of cars that are up for auction. At Barrett Jackson, there are acres of cars in the holding areas. Some of these cars have already hit the block and have been sold. Some are still waiting, and some are just for show and are not for sale at all. Of course, at Barrett Jackson, there's more to see than just automobiles for sale. There's airplanes, tour buses, and the famous Bondurant School of Driving race course, where anyone can take a spin in one of the many models of top-end vehicles. Step in a vehicle and go for it. In the past, Barrett Jackson has facilitated the sale of some pretty impressive and pretty unique automobiles and airplanes. Here's just a sampling. Those are just to name a few. Over the years, they've sold hundreds of cars, airplanes, and well, whatever. We've enjoyed our stay here at the Barrett Jackson auction. We hope you did too. We'll see you next year at the famous Westworld right here in Scottsdale, Arizona for the Barrett Jackson Automobile Auction.